Welcome to BizSugar Live, Demystifying Google Ads, PPC Fundamentals for Small Businesses. Our guest today is Lior Krolewicz. He's the CEO of Yael Consulting, an online marketing consultancy where he helps e-commerce and lead generation businesses grow profitably online. His unique experience positions Lior to provide a unique online marketing consulting services to small businesses worldwide. Lior managed online marketing budgets of over $1 million per month at one of the nation's large marketing agencies. In 2011, he decided to bring these world-class proven marketing techniques to small businesses. As an ex-special ops commander, he is passionate about being a true Google Ads expert and developing high-performance teams and helping small businesses win online. He writes about Google Ads for both BizSugar and Small Business Trends. Take it away, Lior.
All right. Hi, everyone. So today we're going to go through some fundamental elements of PPC for small businesses. And are we going to start with the poll, Gail? Or?
Sure. People can take the poll anytime they like. You're trying to get a feel for who we've got here, huh?
Yep. So kind of gear it towards that. All right. Excellent. So I will get started. And all right, so a little bit about me. Again, my name is Lior Krolewicz. I've been working in Google Ads since 2009. Used to work at large agencies, managing $1 million a month budgets. Very deep into the analytics business, the data behind everything. As Gail said, ex-special ops commander, turned marketing consultant, and really all that comes together to be passionate about helping small businesses win online. I find it's much more fun working hands-on with small businesses and helping them turn around Google Ads and make their business work online. So today we're going to go over some fundamentals and a little more advanced. We're not going to get as deep into the how-tos, like the nuts and bolts of everything, but more on the higher level. If you do have a specific question about the nuts and bolts, feel free to ask at the end, and I'll be happy to answer it and share that information. So we'll start off with what Google Ads is really all about, very basic, what you need to get started with it, what is tracking, how it works, how to structure an account. There's a lot of different ways people do this, a lot of ideas and theories. I'll show you what the correct way to do it is for the long term, how to optimize my account to reach your goals, and then we'll get into frequently asked questions and common mistakes I see by auditing hundreds of accounts every year. So here I'm going to talk about some basic Google Ads, a lot of features of display network, search network. We're going to keep it pretty simple to the most commonly used search network. But again, any other specific questions, feel free to ask me at the end, and we'll get into it. So what is Google Ads all about? So really the benefit of it is you can solve problems real time. So targeting, getting in front of the right people at the right time. Someone's on Google searching for something, they have a need, you can fulfill it right there when you know they need something. Bids, it's paying what you think it's worth to your business to bring that person to your website. That's the whole idea behind pay-per-click. And you pay Google for a click to your website or an action on your ad. And then the long tail, long term of it is optimizing. So maximizing your profits by adjusting who sees your ad and how much you pay for a visitor. And we'll get into more about that, but this is fundamentally how it works. So targeting the right people. So a searcher on Google.com is looking to solve a problem. They want to buy dog food. Give me dog food, hire a plumber to fix a broken pipe, buy a present, rent an inflatable slide, anything they're searching, they have a need and they're looking for it. And a business will pay to solve that searcher's problem to get that customer. So if you sell dog food, you want to show your ad and to get that, solve the problem, make that person a customer. So you will tell Google which searchers you want your ad to show up for. That's what's called the keywords. What is the maximum you're willing to pay to have that searcher interact with your ad and come to your site? That's the bids. And what is a specific ad to show the searcher? That's the ad they write. So you define all these three things, and based on that, Google shows your ad and charges you. So how does Google make money? So when someone clicks on an ad, Google gets paid when they come to your website. So showing your ad, you don't get charged, but clicking on the ad, that's when you will pay Google. If they skip all the way down, and because the ads aren't that great, Google doesn't get paid. So Google wants to make sure the ads get clicked, and this is something we can get into about quality score. You can ask about it at the end. That's it. So how much does Google get paid for every click? So this is if you heard the idea that it's a market auction. So if you're selling dog food, you can only make so much money from a sale. So the cost per click that you have to pay for Google and compete with other advertisers is going to be fairly low, $2, $3, $6 a click. When you're trying to solve a problem of someone looking for a personal injury attorney, this can be a multi-million-dollar lawsuit. So these are very aggressive. The competition is fierce. So injury attorneys can pay anywhere between $52 to $252 per click just to bring them to the website. So that's kind of how the auction decides how much Google is going to charge you per click or what it's going to cost to have your ad show up on the top. Now, the conflict of interest is that Google wants to maximize the number of advertisers competing in an auction. So the more people trying to show their ad, they're kind of bidding against each other. They're going to drive the cost per click up, and Google will make more money from each click. Our job as advertisers is to only show up for relevant searches and pay for what it's worth to us. So we don't want to show up for someone looking for dog food recipes, perhaps. And we're probably willing to pay less for dog food versus buy dog food. Someone looking for buy dog food, we know their intent is to buy. So we can get a little more aggressive with the bid and pay more. Someone looking for dog food, they could be looking to buy, could be looking for a recipe, so we pay less. And this is kind of the idea of bidding. And again, we can get more into it. But fundamentally, Google wants to show your ad more, and we want to only show up for what we want to show up. So here's an example of, so overall Google Ads errs on the side of showing advertisers for more searches. So the way Google's getting more and more aggressive is that they're showing people's advertisers' ad more often than they actually know they're being shown because they're not using Google Ads correctly. So here's an example where I just put this in a couple days ago. So if you put in Google, apply to be a tutor, right? That means I want to become a tutor. I'm looking for a job. Now you can see the advertisers here. This one has to do with a job. They're bidding correctly. This company right here, they're offering services. So me clicking on their ad has zero value for them, right? Because I'm not going to hire their services. It's incorrect. And the same thing here. So the solution to something like this is to use something called negative keywords, and I can get more into that later. And basically, you can tell Google not to show my ad when a negative keyword is in the search box. So if I say, whenever someone looks for apply, don't show my ad, right? For example, we'll get more into that later, and I can go deeper if you'd like. Okay, so what you need to start with Google Ads. So first of all, you have to have a viable competitive business, something that you can offer value. If you can offer value, you can compete for traffic, and you can expect to get some kind of result and make money that way. The second part is a website. Tell the searcher quickly that I'm the right company to solve their problem. So if they click the ad, they come to your site, and you can convert them to a customer. Now, there are options directly from google.com that on the search results, you click a phone number, map extensions, lead form. I won't get into that. And the two types of websites generally are e-commerce, you're selling something, or lead generation. You're looking to get someone to fill out a lead form. So if you have a website, a viable business, a website, a Google Ads account, the last thing you need to do to be successful is to track results. You need to quantify the results I'm getting for the investment. Having this in place, you'll know I invested this much, I got back, invested X, got back Y, and that really gives us information to know how we're doing and how much more to invest. So what is tracking and how it works? I'm going to go a little bit technical, but just to give you the high, but not too deep. So basically, all tracking is any action a visitor takes on a website that can be defined as a conversion. So if your e-commerce website, if someone makes a purchase for a sale, that can be a conversion. You can track the revenue as well. If you're a lead generation website, then someone completing a lead form on your website or even clicking on a phone call on a phone number, that can be a conversion. Now you can define if someone reaches my cart, it's a conversion. You can define anything you want. But fundamentally, someone, e-commerce, you made a sale, lead generation, you got information. Now, it's important, and it's something that not many advertisers do, is to confirm real-world accuracy before advertising. So some companies, advertisers set up the tracking, and the moment they see conversions show up in Google, they start optimizing against it without confirming it matches the real world. And that could be a problem. So how does it work fundamentally? We know someone converted if they reach a specific page. So if you're an e-commerce business, how you know someone on your website had a sale is if they see the order confirmation page. The only way a visitor sees an order confirmation page or thank you for buying is after they complete an order. So that's a very simple way how Google can track if they made an order. In lead generation, they fill out a form, someone sees a thank you page. Thanks for filling out the form. And you can tell Google, if someone sees this thank you page, that means to fill out the form. You tell Google this, and that's how they track it. So when a searcher clicks an ad, let's say I put best organic dog food, I clicked it, Google tags that user and with a unique ID, a unique tag called the G-CLID, and it follows that person around. So I click this ad Purina, you can see here's the website URL. The advertiser's tracking, it just shows their campaign, CPC, all this stuff, and you can see the actual term, best organic dog food. That's just how it works right there. And the G-CLID is the unique ID that Google tags that person. Now, once they're tagged, if I go and make a purchase, then Google can feed back the information to Google and tell them the person that clicked this best organic dog food made a purchase, and then it feeds back into Google Ads. So you got the unique ID. The unique ID can be associated, that one click, to the campaign, the ad group, the keyword. It tells Google what device I was on, where I was at, my demographics, the time of day. All this information is associated with that one ID. So when a user with that tag converts, that information gets populated back into Google Ads. So here's an example. Someone searched for buy dog food on a mobile device, and they made a purchase of $55. Now, you get a lot of clicks in your Google Ads account, and you can track that. So basically, the information you're going to see is that something like 10 people clicked on the keyword buy dog food. Each click costs you $1. So 10 times 1 is you pay $10. One person converted and made a purchase, $55. So that's kind of what you hear. Buy dog food has a $10 per conversion, right? That's basically how it is. So here's how it looks in the Google Ads account. You have how many clicks the keyword has, how much you paid on average per each click, cost per click, total you pay, number of conversions, your cost per conversion, and how much conversion value, if you're tracking that, that's going to be the revenue. So I'm not going to get too much deeper into that, but you can track all this down to an actual word. All right, so confirming that what you're seeing in Google Ads matches the real world. So our goal is to maximize our results within a budget. We have a $2,000 budget. We want to make the most out of it. When advertising and tracking Google Ads, you want to make sure that the conversions you're seeing, so these things right here, they actually mean what you think they mean. It matches the leads or sales in the real world. Now, I see this happen a lot, that people have incorrect tracking, and it's a very fundamental flaw in an account. So sometimes people think they're tracking a sale, but they're just tracking a visit. And that's totally incorrect because they can't know which click actually has a value. And sometimes they are tracking the wrong thing. I've seen people saying, I'm going to track conversion when someone just lands on my page. That's not real value. You want to make sure you're tracking when someone buys, makes a purchase, so you get a sale, or fills out a lead form, and then make sure it works properly. So the benefit of making sure, for small businesses, to find out if the tracking is correct, is that you're usually pretty in tune with your business. So if you launch a Google Ads account and the next day you have more sales, you probably feel that. Larger businesses don't really have the finger on the pulse, but smaller businesses don't have to go too crazy and invest in all the high-tech pieces or whatever you need. you can just say, I'm pushing and I feel that sales are increasing. So if you see that if you're pushing Google Ads, you're seeing the leads increase, and the conversion in Google Ads is showing you have 5 conversions yesterday. And did you feel the increase in your business yesterday or last week? And if you kind of feel that it's correlated, that's a good start. If Google's showing 100 leads or 100 conversions and you're not seeing any come through, then the conversion's broken. That's a very simple way that works most of the time to know if it's working. Just see what Google says, see what you know about your business, how many times you pick up the phone today. Yep, it's totally off. Another way of looking at it is you can say, let me look at one single day. Let me look at yesterday. Let me look at the past week, and see if those numbers are close enough. They're rarely going to be 100% accurate, but if Google shows 10 leads and you felt about 7, 8 more, then you're on the right track. If you felt nothing increase on your side, then that's when you know it's totally off and you got to rework it. This is a way to start to make sure your tracking confirms, it matches the real world. Eventually, you will want to have the correct tracking and tagging and all that stuff in place. But to start, as a small business, to start out simple, just say, is Google showing conversions, and am I feeling those same number of conversions on my end? And that'll be a starting point from there. So getting into how to structure an account, and there's a lot of ideas about this, and I've been using the same one for over a decade. That's works very, very well. So we'll go over the basic structure concepts, how it works, and the idea is to have a very intuitive and systematic account based on your website or how you look at your business already. Doing it this way, it's very easy to evaluate performance, set a budget, but also gives you flexibility to control how to target. So to give a simple example, you have a Google Ads account, you have a campaign, and in a campaign, you have ad groups. And all an ad group means is a set of keywords that, so when these keywords are triggered, they show one of these ads. That's a group of ads. That's all it means. So that's how you organize ad groups, is by keywords and ads. So basic structure. Different campaigns, different ad groups with specific ads in each. A real life example, if you have an account that does HVAC, you might have a campaign for air conditioning versus HVAC versus heating, okay? And you might have air conditioning repair. So all these will have the same keywords, AC repair service, because all of these will trigger the same ad. If someone is searching for any of these 4 words, you're going to say the same thing. We offer AC repair service, right? Versus if someone looks for install, you show a different ad. You'd show AC installation. The grammar's not great, but for simplicity purposes, install service. So you can see, because your main headline is going to say something else, repair versus install versus replace your AC. That's how you decide how to break out an ad group. You don't have to go as granular as every single keyword has its own ad group. Keep it simple. If you're going to write a different word or verbiage or adjective or verb, whatever, then just break it into a new ad group. And then you can see by systematic, if you do HVAC, all you do is really replace AC with HVAC. And the same thing, HVAC repair, install, replace, and heating, right? And then the benefit of having something systematic is that it's long-term, it's controlled. If you know that you have full coverage on every single thing. And also if you have another service of another type of service that matches this kind of template, you can just add it in and systematically build out your account that way and know that it's complete. So when you look at this way, it's just basically, you probably look at your business the same way. We have air conditioning services, we have HVAC, we have heating services. It's very simple how you look at your business and you know where the revenue is coming from. That's how you want to structure your account. So following your business logic will make it very easy to correlate account performance to the real world. So if you're a pet shop and you look at, I sell dog food versus cat food versus hamster food, just set the campaigns accordingly. And then if you're selling, you invested $30 or $100 in dog food, did you sell more dog food? So the same way you look at your business in the real world, try to have the structure correlate in a very simple way. And that's going to make it very easy. Now, budgets for each campaign. Budgets are set on the campaign level. So it's easy to, again, log into Google Ads. You see, the different services or different products, and you can see how much you invested in each, and you can check your sales to make sure it matches or where you want to increase or decrease. So having this granular structure allows you for better testing. You might want to say, I'm going to create a landing page for installation, landing page for repair. It gives you the opportunity because you're looking at it very segmented. And it allows the account to evolve and grow over time. Let's say there's another, maybe like you want to add maintenance. I forgot that. And all you do is you can copy and paste an ad group, change replace to maintenance service, and you scale it. And you do that across all the different campaigns and ad groups. So it's very simple and clean and intuitive. Inconsistent and messy account structures, they don't scale. If you log in and you don't know what is going on or how it relates to the real world, it's just not going to happen. That's why there's a lot of concepts out there of you want to arrange your keywords by match type and have it in 3 different places, or a single keyword ad group. Totally messy. It's impossible to manage. And if it's impossible to manage, it won't be managed. So keep it simple, keep it intuitive, follow the most basic concept that if you're going to write a different ad, create a different ad group. Otherwise, keep it all in the same ad group. So that's on the account structure. Now, how to optimize your account. So you want to improve the targeting. You want to make sure that if you're looking to offer tutor services, you're showing up for people who are looking to hire your services. You want to optimize your bidding to maximize your results, your sales, your leads, whatever it is. And then we can also optimize conversion path on the website. So in Google Ads, you'll see this menu on the left. If you click on search keywords, you'll see the words you put in: buy dog food, etc. If you go down a few menu items, you'll see search terms. If you click there, you're going to see what people actually search for on google.com when this keyword was triggered. So if you put the word dog food and you click on search terms, you might see that someone searched for dog food recipes, buy dog food, how to make dog food. All these different specific searches trigger that one word. And when you see that, you can understand when your ad's showing up and then have control through negative keywords. So in the example we had with the tutor, you might go after put the word tutor, look at the search terms, and you see someone looked for apply to become a tutor. And you're saying that's not relevant to you. So you want to say, Google, block when someone looks for apply, because that's never going to apply to me. Anyone looking to apply is never going to hire my tutor services. It doesn't fit in the sentence. And then once you do that, now some people block the whole thing, apply to become a tutor. They say, let's make that a negative. But then if someone looks for applying to become a tutor, you will show up again. And it's kind of whack-a-mole. So once you find a keyword to block, you're saying block apply. I don't care where it is in the sentence. And then you can go beyond. Apply. You can think of what else can I possibly show up for that I can proactively block. So applying, application, resumes, job, salaries. Just go on a brainstorm tangent and just start typing all these things in and block them proactively while you're there. Because if someone looks for applying to become a tutor and you only block apply, you will show up. So again, Google errs on the side of showing you for more things. So if you want to block it, you have to be very specific. So that's our negative keywords. Now, on the positive keywords or good keywords, let's say you found someone looking for air conditioning maintenance. And you said, yeah, I do offer that. So, or tutors near me. Yeah, I didn't put that in. So you can add that to an existing ad group you already have for tutors. Yeah, let's add tutor near me. And it might apply, that near me idea might apply for other parts of your campaign, but it's a way to evolve and grow the account. Then if you see someone looking for something like math tutor near me, you can say, oh yeah, I guess people are looking for specific subjects. So maybe I'll go out and build a math ad group, a social studies ad group, calculus ad group, and get very, very specific. So when someone looks for math tutor, you can say math tutoring services, calculus tutoring services. It allows you to evolve the account to grow ad groups and create new ad groups systematically, and that's how accounts evolve to be consistent, systematic, and solid, and it scales. It's long term. Okay. Bidding. So bidding is something that's very tricky. A lot of ideas out there, a lot of buzzwords, AI, data science, all this great stuff. The most fundamental thing is that you want to increase the bids on a keyword that's performing better. So it's working well, I'll pay more for it. And if it's not working well, I'll pay less for it. That's the fundamental idea, okay? Now, I like to do something called beat the average. Let's say your account has allowed, thousands of keywords, whatever it is in themes. And your account average, after everything, you're paying $100 a sale. So if a keyword is converting at $115 a sale, it's kind of making my average worse because it's above. So I'm going to lower the bid on that, right? So anything that's worse than my average, I'll lower the bid. If I have a keyword that's $80 a sale, hey, that's pretty good. I can feed it a little bit more. So it's making my average better. So I'll increase the bid. And just by doing that, pushing and pulling to beat the average, your average will come down, because when you pay less for keywords that bring sales at 115, 120, your average is going to go from 100 to 99. Then you got to beat 99 and then 98. And that's kind of the iterative process you go through in the account to beat the average and always improve it. So with granular account structure, you can also look for themes within the campaign that do better. So when you're looking at the ad groups, go back to here, you might say the performance for repair, just the word repair, works much better on average. So let me try to go and push repair on HVAC and heating, because repair works better for me, right? So you're getting granular into the keyword, what's each keyword's triggering, what it costs you. But by having everything systematic, you take a step back and say, but what am I seeing here? I feel that I'm lowering a lot of bids on this replacement keywords. I'm lowering that a lot, and I feel myself bidding up this repair keyword, the theme. So then you can start pushing the themes more. You know what, this one's not getting traffic yet, but the theme's doing well. So this is kind of a human way of going into it. And that's why oftentimes it's not too hard to beat Google's algorithm, because Google's not doing this thought process for every single account. They're not getting in there. And what happens often is that when you're doing these bidding, you're just like, you know what? Yeah, I am doing more repair jobs, and that is our forte, and it is what we lead with. You know your business. So you can lean into the things you know work well for your business, and that's going to be much better than Google's, AI or whatever it is most of the time. Okay, so great. So if you say you're lowering your cost per sale from 100 to 99, 98, you're down to like 80. And you're like, you know what? I can pay more per sale. I want to grow. So now what you can do is you take your budget from $2,000 a month to $3,000 a month, or $2,500 a month. And to do that, you got to push the bids. So now you're going to push some bids, and by pushing and getting more aggressive, naturally your cost per sale is going to go back up because you're getting more aggressive. It's going to go up to 85 or 86, 87, somewhere. And then again, within the $2,500 budget, the larger budget, you're going to start optimizing play, beat the average. But that's the iterative process. You beat the average, you lower your cost per sale to a level that you feel like it's really, really good, and you want to get more aggressive, increase the budget, and then again, you'll see the cost per sale go up, bring it back down. And that's a big part of what the optimization is. You're blocking bad keywords you're showing up for. That helps to cut some fat. You're pushing on better keywords. And that's the day-to-day work you do in Google Ads, or every so often, depending on the size of your account. So again, as you increase the budget, you want to beat the new average. Okay, so the last part is when people click on your ad, they come to the website. So one opportunity is that if you improve the conversion rate on your website, it makes everything better. All the keywords are going to benefit from that. So it opens up a nonlinear growth. So it just means that if you increase your conversion rate on your website by 10%, it might allow one keyword to convert better. You'll push the bid, and you might go from position 2 to position 1. That's not going to be a 10% increase. You're going to get a lot more traffic. So it's not linear. Sometimes you can do a push one way, and it can compound. So that's why the benefit of increasing the conversion rate is so big, because the entire count goes up in a non-linear way and you can get a lot more results. So when looking at optimizing your website, again, there's a lot of theories and ideas and concepts behind it. Keep it simple. So look for the lowest hanging fruit, the lowest risk with obvious rewards. So if your website loads slow and you make it load faster, it's not going to make, it cannot make a conversion rate get worse. So start there. If you add a conversion call to action, a button above the fold, they come in, there's a button, and you didn't have one before. That can't make it worse, because having them take action. So making your website look better on mobile device, making sure if you have a phone number, someone on a mobile device can click it and it's going to open. So some simple things, and as well, decreasing bids on keywords that don't perform well. That's also in the account, right? All these things will kind of help make things better. And then there's something called Google Analytics that shows you who comes to your site, how many people, what pages are being viewed every day. And that's something you can look at and say, which pages on my website are being viewed most often, right? My top pages. And then you can look at that and see which one has the worst performance. And look for those outliers. Don't go into the ones that are just a little bit different. See if there's any outliers. Let's say the bounce rate, I won't get into it, but is 50% across the board. And you go down the line, 50, 55, 45, and you find the one that goes to like 80. Really jumps. That's an outlier. So you want to focus on that page, improve it, and then improving that page will, again, get you more results out of the website, conversion rates. So what is Google Ads all about? It's turning searchers with specific intent into customers profitably by paying what it's worth to your business. Okay. What you need to start is have a viable business and a website to convert the visitor into a lead or sale, and making sure you're tracking it so you can optimize profitably. And the tracking is any action a visitor takes that's valuable. It gives insight into what part of your marketing investment is working, what keywords, what ad groups, what campaigns. And to structure an account, you want to make sure it's systematic, intuitive, organized, following how you already look at your business. If it's not easy to manage, it won't be managed. I see a lot of campaigns that are messy and no one goes into the details there because they don't understand it. And then to optimize your account, just beat the average in Google Ads and be in tune to what themes are working that correlate to your business, and consider website improvements that are simple, that can only make things better. So the next section we'll go into is frequently asked questions or common mistakes. And here I kind of prompted you with a few questions that I get. So for this part, Yael, I'm going to open it up if anyone wants to choose one of these questions for me to answer, or any other questions. We'll take it from there.
All right, we do have some questions in there, although I noticed that a lot of people can't tell how many questions are in there because I don't know why. Anyway, I wanted to say a couple things. People don't know this, but a long time ago, for 5.5 years, all I did was pay-per-click. And I have never heard that strategy about beating the average. And I think people need to definitely pay attention to that one. Also, the conversions are what makes all the difference. And I want to throw in one extra tip: never bid an even amount. Everybody bids 50 cents, $1, $1.20, $1.50. Bid $1.53 if your bid is $1.50. Bid a few pennies more and you will beat the masses who don't notice that. And I know that because Yahoo Ads, we used to be able to see the bids, and I would see 20 people all bid 50 cents. I bid 51, then I get to win. And those were visible and people still didn't do it. So keep that in mind. Now let's go to the questions. Martin asked us, how long does the GCLID tag saved on the Google for an e-commerce site?
Sure. So the normal window is 30 days. There is an option within Google Ads to extend it, but generally speaking, it's within 30 days. Once they get tagged, it tracks the user, and if they're logging into their Google account, it can track across their devices and really get sophisticated. So 30 days, unless you define it, I think up to 90.
All right. There in Google Ads now, there is this guide thing that says, what is it you want to do? Do you want to get a lead? Do you want to, get conversions? If you go through that path that Google Ads gives you, can you ever get to all these controls? Or can you only get to these if you bypass the two places it asks you, what is your goal?
Yeah, so those automated smart campaigns, I would definitely recommend against it because it gives you very little control, first of all, on what you show up for. It also gives you very little visibility. So the whole thing about like that search terms that I mentioned, like seeing what you're actually showing up for, that's where you get so much insight and you block so much garbage. And with these smart campaigns, they don't show you anything. They just say it's a black box, tell me what you want, I got you, trust me, just give me your money and I'll do it. But it doesn't really work. And if it does, it's not really scalable because you don't know what's working. You can throw more money at it, but the wrong things are going to get invested in, you know what I mean? Versus something like this, where you're saying, I want to invest more into people looking for air conditioner installation, service near me. I know it's good for my business. I see it increase. I have that choice. With these smart campaigns, you do not have that choice. And it's really just it's like throwing money at the Google campaign and hoping to do the right thing and take care of your business. And forget about the whole Google evil thing, is Google doesn't know your business well enough to optimize properly. So I would definitely avoid using those features. And also when I go into audit an account, if someone used that feature, I have very little visibility into what was happening. So it's very hard to audit those accounts to understand what's going on. So I would avoid those at all costs and just even do something simple to start out with control and with the insight for scalability.
Right. So I totally agree with you. And it's kind of tricky that it actually does it to you twice, as far as I know, the last time I looked at it. And so at the very beginning, there is an option to do manual. And then another place that tries to trick you into doing that. And then you can pick manual again. And this is how you beat. One of your questions suggested is, how does a small company compete? That's how you compete. You have to be able to control where your ads are, what's really working, so you can keep improving your conversions on your website and your products options, because you can see what's going on. If you do not do this manually and you go into the black box that we called it, you can't tell anything. And how are you ever going to improve what you cannot see?
Right, exactly.
All right, great. I'm glad that you answered that one. I want to answer the first question, because I would say yes, but I don't know what you're going to say. Should I ever pause or delete keywords? Okay,
this is a controversial one, and my strategy is to never pause or delete a keyword, and here's why. Because the fundamental idea is you want to have a very granular account structure, and you pay for what it's worth. Okay, so let's say AC repair service near me. It's you're saying I want to pay $6, and it goes off and spends all this money. Now people are like, wait, spend money, it's not working, I better pause the keyword. If you take a step back, very fundamental, you do offer AC repair service near the person. The idea, the keyword is there because it's relevant. So the fact that it didn't work could be a human error. Maybe you shouldn't bid $6. Maybe you should bid $2. Maybe a $2 doesn't work. You bid $1.50. And if it really doesn't work, what's going to happen is you're going to keep bidding down and lower till it turns itself off because it can't really win an auction. But often what happens is people put the wrong bid, or they see this keyword is matching to how to become a AC repair service training near me. That's what it's triggering. They're like, oh shit, let me block the word training, and all of a sudden the keyword works, right? So don't fault the keyword. If you put it in there, it's fundamentally right for your business, and try to figure out why wouldn't it be working. Is Google matching into the wrong thing? Is your bid too high? This is the long-term way to kind of keep the account consistent if the keyword is right for you. When people start pausing keywords, then all of a sudden you have this big structure that some things are covered, other things are paused. It gets really messy. So know that you have full coverage on everything you do offer, and figuring out what the right bid and making sure it's matching the right things, that is a holistic account That's that's scalable. So just because a keyword's not performing well, don't fault the keyword because you put it in for a reason. Just reevaluate if it's the right bid, see if it's matching to the wrong thing, and usually you can make it work, right? It might lose money at $6, but might be super profitable at $2. So the only way to find out is to be in the account and optimize. But once you pause a keyword, you're saying, this can never work for me. I'll never know if it can do anything. And you lose that opportunity. Each of these keywords is an opportunity, like a stock, the stock market, to make money. And you just got to figure out the right price to make it profitable.
That's good. That is very sharp. And I agree with that. And that also fixes that other problem where if you pause one keyword, Google shows a less optimized ad for that keyword somewhere else.
Yeah.
I prefer exact match only. And I know that doesn't really exist anymore. So does just adding a whole lot more negative keywords get you there?
Part of it is adding a lot more negatives. When you start off an account, you build all this structure and you all these things, build it out, very nice. And if you talk to Google rep, they say, start by pushing your bids really high and see what happens. I say go backwards. Let's say Google says your average cost per click should be around $5. I would set most of these to, let's say, $2. And this one might be a little bit more because this is a little more specific. I'll pay $2.50. So I set all these keywords at a certain level. If I'm not getting traffic, I will try all the keywords at 10% more. And then again, and every few hours increase it. And try to find that minimum threshold you start getting traffic. And when you start getting traffic, you will inevitably match to things that aren't relevant. And then you'll see it in the search terms and you'll block it. But doing it this way, it's also the cheapest learning. So you'll pay the minimum to learn as well. And usually when doing it this way, some things will waste money, but you'll get some small, really cheap wins. And it will be enough to kind of sustain the growth and gradually evolve the account, again, to beat the average.
Right. So that's the same thing that I advise. Never bid what Google tells you to bid. Start low. See if you hit the first page. If you can't hit the first page, then bid higher. Now, in the old days, there were a lot more ads on the page. And so if I had a very poor client with a very small budget, I just wanted to hit the bottom of the first page. And if I hit the top of the second page, sometimes I didn't care. And if I had a client that had a decent budget, I would aim for 3 to 5 on average. Average, is really not very accurate, but it gives you a ballpark to shoot at. But there are some clients that have to bid for the top. Very few. Most people don't need to bid for first or second, but that varies a whole lot. And so you have to keep testing, right?
Yep, exactly. And that's another thing about how can a small company compete with an industry with big competitors? They have huge budgets. See, the thing is, but a big competitor, it can't get, 1 or 2 sales a day. It might need a lot. So to get a lot of sales, it has to be very aggressive with their bids. And they have to, and with being aggressive with their bids, they have a lot of loss. And oftentimes big companies don't really get this granular, so they don't mind losing a lot of money. But if you're just starting off, you can say, you know what, I'm going to go after the best keywords, the very specific ones, and I just need a couple sales a day. So you're not getting very aggressive. You have less loss. You have less waste. And, in these onesie twosies, you start building up momentum. Whereas, again, large companies are just throwing money out there. And you can see in this example, people matching totally to the wrong things. Like Princeton Review, right? That's a huge company. And they are offering tutoring help. But they're not looking at this usually because they just have too much money and they rather not, or they don't get into it. But that's often what happens. Big companies waste a lot of money just like this, and this example happened to be. And when you're a smaller business and you're more on top of it and in the account, you're a lot more proactive, a lot more efficient, and you get those few wins, and you can grow and compete with the larger companies.
Right. So people shouldn't give up. Long tail can help you. Exact matches can help you to the extent there is such a thing anymore. I used to make a lot of money for people in pay-per-click, a whole lot of money. And we paid like a nickel a click and everyone else was paying $2. And so it is possible if you do a whole lot of keyword research. and
Yep.
you know your audience and you fine tune everything, you can make a lot of money with it, but you definitely have to stay on top of it. All right. So is there anything else in this list of
Yes.
mistakes we should discuss?
Okay. So yes. So someone asked a question. I'm just curious to know what business they're in. To answer me, I can kind of answer in that context, so it's more useful. Because I do have a great tip for writing ads. Okay. Do you see this browser right here?
Yes.
Okay. So if I put hire a math tutor near me, okay, until you hit person. So great, here's a great ad. That's what they're saying. So to find out what a good ad is, you can go past the paid search ads and look at the, that's not the best example here, but look at the organic results. Google's saying this is the best organic result for people looking for math tutors. So you can just kind of follow that lead. Maybe putting a price in there would help, right? Again, saying math tutors near me, that's what I expected, and that's what the first person's putting, right? But then maybe a price. Google says that's helping. I'm convinced that Google says I'm convinced this is the best website for that search, and a big part of it is their headline. So if I look for buy organic dog food, right? Everyone's putting their brand name, human grade. If you go to the search results, lo and behold, best organic dog food. Like, it's very simple to write a great ad. Look what Google's already doing in the organic. And this is building the account granular. You'll be able to write the ad specifically, as I mentioned. But here's a good proof where big companies aren't doing it. And this is the biggest opportunity. Just search for the main keyword, go down to the organic results, and follow what they're doing. And you can see it's very specific. And if I put, dog food recipe, right? Get all the recipes, right? Homemade, etc. So put your keyword in Google Ads, look at the organic results headlines, and follow the first section. That's for the how to write a good ad. It's a good trick. The second one is ton of traffic, few conversions. You need to understand where the traffic is coming from. If you're matching to random stuff, like in the search queries, search terms, where you think you're matching to this, but actually you're matching to 100 other things, clean that up. There's other nuances if you're showing up a display network. But fundamentally, if you're getting traffic and not getting conversions, either it's the traffic's bad, or your conversions on the website's bad. Only one of those two. So in Google Ads, you can investigate, or you can reach out to me. I can help on a free consultation. What's going on there? And if all that's good, I would go to the website then and say, hey, the website's stopping them from converting. And it can be something like a button's broken, but that's definitely an issue, and I wouldn't keep investing in that. And then Bing. So Bing is if I go to Bing and I search for Bing, right? If I search for buy dog food, I mean, this is someone looking to buy dog food. So if I'm a searcher with intent, there's no reason I should not be on Bing. Anywhere someone's searching for you and they're telling you, I have a problem that you can solve, you want to be in front of them. And Bing, some people say, well, I don't want to bother with Bing, too much work. But Bing Ads, which is now Microsoft Ads, actually has a button that says import from Google. And the click of a button, you import everything. And yes, there's less traffic, but because it's an auction, right, there'll be less competitors. Less competitors, sometimes you'll find that the cost per click is lower. And you can turn a better profit. So as long as you have the time to watch Bing and not neglect it and lose money, I would definitely use Bing and see what happens. Because fundamentally, a searcher, you can solve their need. You can turn into a customer. And bidding on competitor names, that's also a great way to kind of get momentum. So if it's like I always say, like if you open up a coffee shop, your brand new coffee shop next to a Starbucks, right? And you put next door to Starbucks and you put a headline saying, our coffee's not burnt and we're half the price. So someone's driving to Starbucks in the morning because they want Starbucks coffee. But as they have the intent and they're ready for their morning coffee, they happen to see a sign for better coffee at half the price. They'll try it, right? That's a very simple way to siphon off very high intent, credit card in hand traffic and see how to convert them. So I definitely would do that.
All right, so I think we should talk about why people get traffic from people that aren't in their target area.
Yeah, so Google Ads has, again, a lot of levers, and it got worse over the years, of different ways to show you to more people that you intend. Because Google says, I know you want to say, you say you want to show up only in New York, but if someone is in California and Google thinks they're looking for something in New York, we want the option to show you. So again, it's a little weird. Or someone in India, Google says, I think this person in India is looking for service in New York. So I'm going to show your ad. And basically, can you see my my account here? So basically, in a campaign, you go to settings. You have all the countries you set here, and it's a very simple thing. If you go to location, you put all your locations in. I want to show up. Usually, it's just U.S. or Canada. And over here, you just want to select the second one, because by default, you're selected here, presence or interest. So people in regular or who's shown interest based on Google's discretion. And that's when you show up to a lot of different places. All you got to do is in the campaign settings, click this, presence. I'm telling Google only people in my location. And then you'll show up in the correct area. So a lot of times, I'll go into account, they're targeting US, they're showing over worldwide. Go in, change the setting to this, hit save. You know, you can save hundreds of dollars right away. So that's all, just a setting right here.
That's a great tip. Yeah, things change so much since I used to do this.
Yeah, and it is getting much, much worse to kind of get out there. That's why a lot of people are losing money in different ways, but there is a way to make it work. And just because it hasn't worked for you in the past doesn't mean Google Ads isn't good for you, because the idea is it's fundamentally should work for most people, but maybe you didn't set up correctly, or you're showing up in the wrong countries or some wrong areas, and that's usually the root cause of why it's not working. But when it's set up properly, it should work for most people.
All right, so I want to talk about what doesn't work. What doesn't work is letting Google run your ads for you. Because first of all, they'll probably use that automated thing and they don't know your business. And secondly, their goal is to make more money for them, which is opposed to your goal, which is to make higher profits and spend less money. And so if you'd like to add to that, I just want to throw my 2 cents in there.
Yeah, at the end of the day, you know your business, you have the right tracking. The struggle is always you want more control, and Google wants to take control. And Google is saying, give me more control and I'll take care of it. And that usually doesn't work. And if it does, it's not scalable and it's short term. Like Google has a feature for automated bidding, and it's called maximize conversions. You can set the bids yourself, or you can select this option where Google is going to maximize your conversions. Now, there's silly things where I see accounts that don't even have conversion tracking working, but they have maximize conversions. How the heck is Google going to know what to optimize if nothing's tracking? It just spends your money. You see what I'm saying? All you're doing is really saying, Google, do what you want with my money. Because there's no tracking coming in, no conversions coming in, Google has no idea. So having more control in your account, understanding where your money's going, at the keyword level, great. Theme level, great. Campaign level, pet, dog food versus cat food, if you structure correctly, that is going to be the right way to make sure it works for you. And if you don't monitor it or let it run off, that's when it's bound not to work. Any other questions here or anything else that you came up? I kind of use it as prompt. Any other?
Right, so Martin did say thank you for answering his question. And you might talk a little about the quality score. Do you think it's a real quality score?
Yeah, so quality score is Google saying, if I put in, buy cat food, right? And someone writes an ad that says buy dog food, right? No one's going to click it. So Google's like, I'm not going to show your ad. I'm going to give you a very low quality score because the keyword isn't related to the ad. And that's kind of the fundamental idea. If your relationship between the ad and the keyword isn't very good. And what they say is that if you have a low quality score, it's out of 1 to 10, I'll still show your ad, but you have to pay a lot more for certain positions. So let's say if my ad, if say this cost per click to be in the 3rd position is $3. If I write buy fresh dog food, right, my quality score is going to be low. Instead of $3, I'm going to have to pay $10, right? And then Google says, you know what? I'm going to get less clicks because people aren't going to click the ad and they're going to go the organic. But when they get less clicks, each click I'm going to charge you more, and then Google will kind of make a wash out of it. You know what I mean? So that's the idea behind quality score. I wouldn't chase quality score because it changes. I've had the same keyword in ads in an ad group, and it goes up and down over time. Trying to chase it is crazy. Just stick to the fundamentals. If you have a account that talks about AC repair service, your ad says AC repair service, and what you do and your selling points, that's going to be the right answer 99% of the time. Don't go crazy trying to change everything and testing and seeing what happens, because sometimes Google just changes it for the sake of it, and it might not be an indication of your true quality of your ad and keyword.
Right. So the reason I brought that up is because I used to have occasions where the ad and the page matched perfectly, and we still got weird quality score issues. And so I would agree that you need to do it for your own sake. Your ad needs to match your keyword, which needs to match the page you're sending them to. And if it doesn't, you are wasting money. But if you do all that right and the quality score is wonky, you know, let it run and hopefully it'll adjust over time.
Exactly. Do the right thing, fundamentals, and then everything else will fall into place.
Right. All right. So that's great. So Lior, would you like to explain to people where they can get in touch with you?
Sure. So you can reach out to me at yaelconsulting.com. You can fill out a form. There's a number there. If you call it, I'd answer directly. If you have any questions, you have an account that's not working, I'm truly happy to help out. You know, it takes me about 5-10 minutes to look at the account and tell you why it's not working, tell you quickly how you can fix it, and from there, do it yourself, or, you know, there's no holding back the secret sauce. I truly love working with small businesses. It's a lot more fun helping and engaging and being in it versus $1 million a month accounts where no one really cares about the results. I do enjoy the interaction and helping. So feel free to reach out to me on my website yeah, happy to help.
All right, so I mentioned before that Lior does write about Google Ads for Small Business Trends, which is our partner site and the smallest small business site on the internet. And he also writes about Google Ads for BizSugar. And just yesterday, we published a new post about ad types of ads, how do you decide whether you want to run video ads versus search ads? So you might want to check that out. After this webinar, we will take the video and add it to the blog post where you found out about the webinar, most likely. And so you'll be able to see it in there, and we will email it to the people who registered to be here today. I'd also like to invite you to all of our webinars that we present at the BizSugar Mastermind community. They are on the 2nd and 4th Wednesday of each month at noon Central, and you can find the replays of all the past webinars, including this one, and our upcoming events on our BizSugar blog. It's at blog.bizsugar.com/webinars. There is a tab at the top that makes it easy to get to that page, and you can see all the upcoming events, all the past events. They're really awesome. You'll be able to see this one when the video is ready. And so I want to really thank Lior. I was not disappointed. I was surprised. You said some things I had not heard before, and I know a lot of pay-per-click people. So I hope people got a lot out of this, and we'll be glad to see you on the next event.
Thank you, Gail. Thanks, everyone. A pleasure.